Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Thursday. The Rangers are back in town, and every single preview that I read this morning starts the same exact way. And so I'm doing it completely different, and I'm just going to read off the lineup from 2012 Wild Card because that's my favorite memory of the Texas Rangers. Not the time they beat us 30-3. Yeah, not that time, and certainly not last year. I don't think last year is relevant to talk about. I don't feel like talking about it. So I'm just going to read off the lineup from the 2012 wildcard game. It's one of my favorite Orioles games of all time. I watched this game. Where was I? Somewhere in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's a story for another day. But anyway, 2012 wildcard, Orioles, Rangers. We win 5-1. And then I just want to read this lineup and then think about the team that we have, perspective. This is going to make this team feel like even more of a juggernaut. So there was Nate McLouth in left field because Markakis got hurt. Sabathia hit him. And then you had Hardy at short, Chris Davis, Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, Jim Thome. Remember we picked up Jim Thome towards the end of the season? Mark Reynolds, Ryan Flaherty, rookie Manny Machado, Andino pinch hits. He gets a double. Robert Andino. Joe Saunders starts the game, and it was Darren O'Day, Brian Mattis. What a throwback. Brian Mattis. I got Brian Mattis stories, actually. I'm not sure if I can share them, but Brian Mattis and then Jim Johnson. So Jim Johnson blows it against the Yankees in the stupid wild card. Anyway, that felt better than the Rangers from last year. Here we go. What do we got for tonight? Feels like a must win. Tonight really does feel like a must win. And I would say it feels like a must win mainly because of what the rest of the weekend looks like. Scherzer most likely is going to pitch tomorrow for Texas. And then they got Lorenzen to pitch on Saturday and then Haney on Sunday. They'll have the pitching edge in every single matchup, even though Irvin's pitching Sunday against Haney. I guess that's kind of a draw. Haney's probably the better pitcher. And then tomorrow, Suarez is getting another start. So, the Orioles are going to be in a situation where Povich is going to pitch on Saturday. So anyway, Burnes is pitching tonight, so it feels like a must win. Now the Rangers are going to throw out Gray, who's really good. It's not going to be easy to hit him. I frankly haven't seen him pitch. So I don't think I'll have tonight feels like one of those nights that just not bet a tremendous amount. I think I'll have to bet Kerstead because every time he's in the lineup. Plus, I love the fact that he's betting fifth, getting an opportunity. So I'll probably go Kerstead just because I love Kerstead. But the Burnes bets, they're really not great value when he's home and we're such a big favorite like this. And I got burned on him 2 starts ago because there's no margin for error. And I learned the hard way on it. It's hard sometimes. Talk about this a lot, and I've said it. I probably said this so many times, but next year will be a lot different because betting on the Orioles, it's fun. I'm glad I'm doing it, but it was kind of a spur of the moment, because of everything that happened. When you're emotional about your team that you're betting on, it's really just not the best. You're just a little too biased. And I think one of the lessons I've learned so far is it's okay to not bet and the Orioles still win, right? Like it's okay to think Burnes is going to throw 7 innings of one hit ball tonight and still not bet it because the value is not there. And I've gotten into that habit with the Ravens really well. Like I'm really good about that, but that's because they play once a week. With the Orioles, it's been a little challenging. I guess the FOMO, the fear of missing out, of I feel good about this bet, but at the same time, I know the value's not quite there. That's basically what happened yesterday with the over 2.5 with Gunnar. That's happened several times where I'll like a certain hitter, but it's minus 180, minus 185. And as I've said before, my cutoff is 150. And, I stick to that. And if it's over 2.5, I gotta really, really, really love that for 2.5 for hits, runs, and RBIs. I gotta really love that bet in order to do it. So tonight feels like a light night. I want to see what this Rangers lineup looks like. I mean, they're 37-43. Baseball's a funny sport. You can start off kind of the way the Rangers are starting off and still win 85, 90 games. So I'm not going to write them off. The lineup it's not exactly the same as last year, but there's a lot of similar pieces. They have some injuries, but I don't think you can blame it really on injuries. They're just not playing great. If you just look at the numbers, a lot of different things were going. I guess they were starting to turn around before the Milwaukee series, and then they just lost three straight, including a walk-off loss yesterday. So I know they're not in a great mood. I'm sure they'll be in a better mood when they get here because of what happened last year. So I think it's important for Burnes to dominate tonight, to throw up a bunch of zeros. And if we have to win the game 3-1, great. Hopefully we can win 10-0. But like I said, Gray is solid. And so we'll see. One thing to touch on, just because it's a popular, topic of sorry about that. It's popular topic of conversation at the moment, and my stance, and I guess I'll you know reiterate this for the next month here, but when people mention that you have to make a move, you have to make a move, you have to make a move, that's not the wrong opinion. It's the wrong opinion to suggest that you have to make the move within the next any time before the next month. Like, you really don't have to make the move until July 30th. That's when you have to make the move. So I think everybody should have an opinion. That's why I read off the Orioles lineup. It's supposed to be fun. Like, being a fan is supposed to be fun. So you should have an opinion, certainly, and everybody should have an opinion. I don't think there's a wrong opinion to have, because all these guys are so young. So it's hard to say you're an idiot or you're wrong for thinking Stowers is better than Cowser, who's better than Kerstead, or you're done with Hayes, or you're done with Mullins, or you think Jackson should get a chance, or you want Kobe Mayo to come up. I think there's better arguments for certain things, but because these guys are so young, it's hard to say you're an idiot, right? And I think I've talked about this for weeks now, before Mullins has even started to hit. You may as well get that name out of your mouth, because he's going to be on the team for the rest of the season. Starting center fielder, most likely. Worst case scenario, replacement defensive center fielder in the seventh inning, 100% in the playoffs. So Mullins will be there. The fun part for me to watch for the next month, and then I'll have a strong opinion, because I love having strong opinions. That's part of being a fan, but I want to see Hayes. I think that's first and foremost. He has the biggest track record. We have to make a firm decision on him in the next month. Meaning, if you're going to keep him on the roster, which I think they're going to do, but we'll see. He's got to play, right? Like, if you don't want him disgruntled, you don't want to block his money. There's business aspects to it. He's got to get paid after the season, so he doesn't want to be labeled a situational hitter. I could see him being moved. And then Cowser and Kerstead, want to see how they produce. That's really the main things of interest. I think Mateo is in the same boat as Mullins, where he'll be here. And I don't think you'll see Jackson until September. I don't think you'll see Kobe, period. Those are my thoughts at the moment. Things are subject to change, but over the next month, what I'm really looking forward to evaluating is, would I trade Hayes? And if I do that, who's my right-handed bat? Can that be Mateo in the outfield, so I can bring up Jackson and do it that way? Do I want to sign? Is there, like we talked about, Connor Norby? Can he play in the left field spot? Because if I get rid of Hayes, I got to replace the right-handed bat. It can be a bench guy. He doesn't have to play as much as Hayes, but I do have to have a right-handed bat that can play the outfield. Besides Santander switch hitting. So a lot of things to think about. As far as the pitching is concerned, there's definitely no trade. You got to think of it like this. There's no trade. It's like an auction. One of my favorite shows on Netflix, the Golden the auction show. If you haven't seen that, it's a great show. But you don't wait. You make your money at the very end, right? So the White Sox, the Athletics, the teams that are going to suck, and frankly, we don't know. There's going to be a couple teams in the National League in particular that won't know, frankly, if they're going to sell or not for another 3 weeks. They're not going to get rid of their best pitchers until the very end. That's how you drive the price up. So again, you can have an opinion. You can think the Orioles should trade for this guy or that guy, but there's no trade to be made right this second. Even if the Orioles wanted to make a trade, the other team's not going to make a trade until we get closer to the deadline. I personally would not trade for a starter. That might be an unpopular opinion. I'm still willing to give Suarez a shot, and I still really like Kramer, and I still really like Cole Irvin. So I'm not a big fan of trading these. I love all the prospects. I want to give them a chance. So I'm not a big fan of trading on any of them, period. I know we have to trade some of them, but I'd rather trade the lesser prospects and get the bullpen guys. And yeah, I'll decide firmly here in a month. But it'll be more fun. I'm gonna stop doing this every day because I don't want to sound like a broken record. But to me, it's more fun to just enjoy this team here, and then not obsess over what trade we should make right this second because they're not gonna make a trade for a month anyway. All right, that's my spiel. Just another knock on the NBA on the way out. I don't know if anybody watched the NBA draft. What a terrible product! Like the picks come out 3 minutes before it's announced. Like if you're just on Twitter, like you just get the picks. So that's absurd. That's number one. And then number two, they make a trade and and the player's still wearing the hat. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's the worst. NBA, no idea what they're doing. Terrible product. Now they have the second round on in the middle of the afternoon. Anyway, I'm just still bitter about Luca and whatever. All right. Olympic basketball, definitely taking France, but we'll be there in a few weeks. But definitely taking France. They got different rules, and I'll probably bet Olympic basketball actually because I like the rules better, and I know the teams are trying their hardest. So, all right, good luck to the Orioles tonight. I think I'm just gonna do Kerstead. I'll see if I find anything else that I really like, but that'll be that. And good luck to everybody. Whatever you're betting, good luck, and yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.